And a very big hello everybody, welcome to one of the most iconic racetracks in the world, Silverstone in the UK for the British Formula One Grand Prix. This is season 6 and round 7 of the championship, and it's shaping up to be a fantastic season. Let's take a look at the track layout. 5.8 kilometres in length, 18 turns, 2 great DRS zones, plenty of overtaking opportunities and some high-speed turns that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Let's head up to commentary.
Hello everybody, hope you're having a fantastic Tuesday evening. It's time for round 7 of the Novice League at Silverstone. My name's Nick, I'm your commentator for tonight, and joining me is Mason Lowe. How are you?
I'm fantastic, thank you. How are you?
I'm having a great day as well. It's been an up and down day, more downs than ups, but she'll be right. And now it's time for some ARL. Another up, it's what we need. Now, tonight we're racing at Silverstone, as I just mentioned before, and very, very nice track. It's one of those ones that I've always loved as a kid growing up, and it's always a pleasure to watch these F1 cars charge around at ridiculously high speeds, as they've always done around here. Now, heading into this round, SV took home 33 points from Canada last week. If you didn't see that round, that was a hectic night. It was a lot of fun to watch. So but yeah, he got 2 race wins out of it, and with that, he's retaking the championship lead. He has 10 points over Panache, and then another 3 points over Nico, who we didn't see last week. So he's got some recouping to do. They are our three musketeers for this season. These are the 3 where all the action is, and it's very, very good to see. The back half of the season is a go, so it's time to be getting serious, I reckon, if we weren't already. Now, our cars are starting to head out, so let's have a look.
Yeah, I would love to watch, but if it wasn't for Codemasters, I'd still be in the game. No, I joined. It's just crash. So.
Oh, the game's crashed, has it? Oh.
Yep, common Codemasters issues, so it's fine. I'll get back in.
Yep. Too easy.
Alright.
Let's have a play around with our camera angles and see what we can play with here. Right. All that usual fun. Our first taker on track was Salty. He's pulled into the pit straight away. His AlphaTauri teammate, old mate James, has come in as well. He's not come in as well. He's going for his first flyer. How good to see. You love to see it in the quali session. There we go. There's your boy Mason. He's in the lobby again.
Spectate. Here we go.
There we go.
Alright.
Pieces restored. I say that old mate James has just gone round out of turn 1.
Oh, there he goes.
He's taken one of the signs with him.
Okay, I'm in. Awesome.
Right. Sorry to catch you red-handed like that, James. It is what it is.
And where is he going?
Is he still rejoining? Oh yeah, he is.
Yep, there we go. No, went off before he went back on. Alright.
HK's just retired from the session. What's happening here?
How did that happen?
Was that a crash? I'm not sure. I don't see his car on the track. Did he just pull in and pit and just give up? I don't know.
I don't know.
Alright, he's the sole Ferrari in the pits, and he's just sat there, so yeah, must have been what happened. I didn't see if he had a qualifying ban, like the good researcher I am, but it surprised me if he did. Although there was a collision between himself and Salty last week, I don't know if that could be a reason why.
Ooh.
Regardless, we're not going to see any flying laps from him tonight.
So SVYT, I'm not going to try and pronounce this one word. I think he's going around this flyer, around the last couple of corners. We'll see where he places. A 127.8.
It's a pretty darn good start, if I say so myself. Philly comes in right behind him with a 27.9. That's a fantastic start from the two of them. I would not be surprised to see...
Our current... No, don't worry.
No, mate, keep going, man.
I don't know where I was going with it. Just
She'll be right. She'll be right, mate. Okay, what have we got going now? Yeah, Philly in P2. Again, he's one of those drivers. He's shown fantastic pace, but we haven't quite seen the results culminate together over the season. Sort of a similar story last season as well, which is what you want to see. But regardless, he's showing good form.
Well, Billy currently plays. He's currently placed 7 in the championship standings. So, obviously he has the pace, but just, it just doesn't seem like he's getting the results he wants. So I think you might be on a cooldown right now, Philly.
He sure would be.
Second flyer. Might be a cooldown. Should be a cooldown.
We're having another member of the retirement brigade has just joined in the form of Reblets. Pardon me. Both himself, Robbie, and HK now out in the second.
And Robbie. Well.
Oh yes. Too right.
We've got an exciting Philly into the pits. Same with SVYT and Zilla.
Yep, there we go. So those are our first takers for flyers. It's a fairly long track, this, so you don't see. You may be surprised to see more than a couple of flying laps in a row, and obviously we've got plenty of takers of just the one. Yep. Thanks.
And Nico in as well. So seems like we're gonna have one out lap for everyone, one fly for everyone, and then back into the pits, except for HK, Robbie, and Reblets, for no specific reason at all.
Yeah, no. Well, just sheer coincidence. Now, regardless, I'm coming around on the track.
It just must be a glitch.
Yeah, that's the one. Election fraud. I'll put it down to.
So skipper. Yeah, that's definitely it.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah, yes.
Skipper.
Anyway, skipper.
Skipper on a flyer. Skipper. Where is he?
He's coming to
the no, he's still got a while away.
No, it's the old pit straight still, Keon.
Well, we got.
This track has been around for, surely getting on for about 100 years now. Nearly 100 years. It's come around after the Second World War, so I'm a bit rambunctious with that, yes. But God, this track has taken many years over those many years, hasn't it? I don't know if you know, back when this track first began, all the way up through till around about the 70s, early 80s, this circuit had probably only about 6 turns on it. It's got 18 of them now.
Wow. Yeah, Silverstone, created in 1947, so 75 years Silverstone is.
There you go.
And it's still probably one of the best tracks, so...
I would have to agree. It kind of gets mixed reviews among different groups, I've noticed. Some people say it's boring, some people say
And we've got SVYT.
Oh, is he out again? Sure is.
SVYT, yeah, coming out of pit. Here we go.
Lining up for another flyer in a minute and a half's time or thereabouts. Now, one thing that's a shame to see is that we don't have any panache here tonight. Of course, second in the championship at the moment. Bit of a shame, I'll be honest. Where you at, my guy?
And with Nico only 3 points behind him in the championship standings, there is a good opportunity for Nico to just jump in front of him here.
It is what you'd expect, isn't it? Especially when Nico has already won 2 races this season and he's no stranger to the podium, we'll put it that way. And yeah, again, both him and SV show fantastic pace week after week, and we'll probably see them up the front the majority of the race tonight.
Exactly right. And SVYT still on his out lap, so have to wait a bit more for that. And
nobody
not much action really going on right now.
No, not at all. Wow. Just psyching themselves up. Got Jeff on the radio, hyping them up. No heroics.
I'm sure Jeff has given them the words of wisdom they need. Yeah.
Oh no, exactly. No heroics in the cops as per the driver's.
Is his name Mark?
Oh yeah, for this one it's Mark, but I refuse to believe.
Is his name?
Yeah. I refuse to believe that Codemasters are really doing Jeff dirty like that. So I'm still calling him Jeff.
Yeah, no, it's still Jeff. Okay, yeah. SVYT on his flyer right now. And
Jump on
keeping
board
it
with
clean
it.
for the first couple of corners.
Absolutely, this is the first. Oh, he's just gone off the track. Is it invalidated the lap? No, it hasn't. Very, very lucky. If there's any part of the track that will catch you out, it's that one right there, because it's... Oh, he's just backed out of it. Never mind. He's oh yeah, but that first sector, it's just, yeah, it's so easy to catch you out with, because it's the slowest 2 corners that you see on this whole circuit. You just want to bury it, but you know you can't.
Now, old mate James back off the track.
Where is he now?
And Philly on his... He's back on.
There you go. Oh, Philly up in the first sector by 800.
Philly on his outlap. Less than 1/10 of a second dividing Philly and SVYT. So let's see if Philly can find those extra couple of tenths just to put himself in front. And still on his outlap. Got a bit of time to go.
That shows me he's on his flyer right now. As he comes through Chapel, we'll see him through the second.
Is it? No, he is too.
Through the second split, he's up by 1/4 of a second, so he's on course for pole here. But again, we're still in the half of the session. Gets a fantastic tow from his teammate Crosso Dog. Another one of those dark horses we typically see battling up at the front. We'll see if that happens again as well tonight. Coming through this final sector now, just piece these last few apexes together. What are we going to see from Philly? New fastest lap, we sure are.
And provisional pole.
How good is that? Textbook fast lap from this bloke.
Now, SVYT didn't actually go around for another flyer, so he's gone into the pits. And he might... Yeah. That's definitely it.
Yep, chief strategist. Nico comes across the line for a 28 flat, improving on his personal best. Not enough to improve on position, but... And we'll see, we've still got just over 6 minutes to go. Yep. Improvements are improvements, that's the way you live. We've also got Trenny S here. Again, he's one of the quickest drivers we tend to see around from week to week. Currently in P5, not a bad quality position right now. And we'll see how that improves over this lap. There's only a handful of corners to go from the string to get before we see a split. We'll go on board with him. Find this a fantastic sequence of corners, just flowing from apex to apex, slowly reducing your speed, but not too much. You want to carry it through. He's up by, he's down by around roughly, if there are words, roughly how much. That may be ditch worthy. Another thing worth mentioning is we have Zilla in the Red Bull tonight. We're typically used to seeing Stormlight in that car, but because we do not anymore. Have we had an on-track funny moment? So Dog playing in the weeds.
So everyone, all the top people, top 5 in the pits, and I'm surprised we haven't seen SVYT out yet to try and battle it out for that pole position, although he might come out in a second.
Absolutely, you got to give a man time to run all the trigonometry calculations to find out what wing setting to run.
Yep, I'm sure he's currently sitting on the toilet with a piece of paper in his hand doing maths, so
Mate,
that's exactly what SVYT is doing right now.
SV definitely the type of guy to take one of those touchscreen calculators to the toilet with him. One of those ones that
My
draws
boy brings the
hyperbolas
Kindle
and
in.
stuff. Yeah, oh, mate, exactly.
Yeah, 100%. Kind of guy to have a magazine basket in this bathroom. And SVYT has left the garage along with his teammate Zilla. See what kind of times these guys can do, because both of them have a shot here for a pole position or at least a top 3 start. So
Absolutely. So again, so tonight, format is going to be 26 laps, 50% race distance, as it usually is. Which is it doesn't, it sounds like a smaller number compared to most tracks we go to, but that's for a reason. That is a lot of laps around here, especially on the track that the corners change so much from one section of the circuit to the other. It almost feels like 2 or 3 different racetracks that have been glued together. And I suppose in a sense it is, but regardless, it definitely can feel like a long time around here, especially if you can't find yourself getting into a rhythm, or you don't entirely agree with the setup of the car, especially through all these long sweepers where you need to rely on your downforce, especially cops. It's one of those ones where you're debating with how much do I lift, do I downshift, all that sort of shenanigans.
I'm gonna have to quickly leave and rejoin.
Oh no.
Common.
We've got more.
Shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Commentator issues.
More shenanigans.
Oh, off he goes into a faraway place.
Where is my James? Join game, alright.
There we go. And just like nothing happened, he'll be back in. Right. Just in time for SV to start his next flyer. What is he going to do now? Again? A lot of eyes on him, for obvious reasons.
But have you just seen the news about the Alfa Romeo team principal?
No, I haven't.
Fred. So Fred Vascular, I don't know how to say his name, the Alfa Romeo team principal. He has just resigned as Alfa Romeo team principal and is now the Ferrari team principal.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's a bit of fun.
And the Williams team principal also leaving. There we go. My game is fresh as...
He's living in a heads rent free. Regardless, we'll watch the sector split and see if it's up. Then they'll know whether I'm being stupid or not. So the sector split now. And I sure am. Let's have a look. Nico coming through sector 1. He's up by 2/10. Excuse me. Don't eat muesli bars before you go on air. You can get bits of nuts stuck in the back of your throat.
Okay, thank you. You said I didn't want a bit of nut. Yeah.
Anyway. Nico coming down the old front straight into cops. Fast 7th gear sweeper, 280 k's at the apex. Fantastic corner. Somewhat infamous in the modern age. Bit of a shame in my books, but regardless, he's made it through perfectly. Same as through these sweepers, making it look like he's done it plenty of times before. And he's now up by 0.27 of a second. If he crossed the line now, that would be good enough for him to be up in P2. Which I'm sure he'd be very happy with, up on both of those Red Bulls, because Zilla just dethroned him on the last lap of his own 27.9. But we'll see as Nico comes through these last sequence of corners now, what he's going to punch back with. And sure enough, P2.
Wow, okay.
SV not very impressed with that.
Zilla, SV, and Philly are all on their flyers right now. So Nico very unlikely to keep that P2, but...
definitely. Philly's up by just over a 10th. Coming through the final sector, what's it going to be? 27.4. What a sweat.
New fast... Wow. Okay, yeah, can SV respond?
Here we go, come around the final corner now. It's looking neat. And across the line, it was only 200s up, so he's going to have to stick with P3 for now. Well, that's unexpected. Nico's backed out of his lap and Zilla's pulled into the pits, so let's have a look at our other takers at the moment. Bevo's crossed the line. We've got Skipper in P7. He's behind his personal best by just shy of 2/10, so we'll be very unlikely to see an improvement from him. So it looks like that is our set grid as we just wait for your boy Trenny to cross the line. And there he goes for P9. And yeah, so that's going to be our grid for the race. And I've got to say, not quite what I was expecting. And if Philly's
Exactly,
pace
so
is anything, if Philly's pace is anything to go by, everybody else ought to be a little bit worried.
So Philly, only 7th in the championship standings, as I said before, has the chance to just put himself as high as 4th tonight.
That would mean a lot,
No,
wouldn't it?
okay, I did my math right. As long as he
did?
wins and gets fastest lap. Wait, hold on, wait, 25. Yep, fourth. Yep, cool. Okay, cool.
Anyway. Yeah, there you go. A mathematician, a resident mathematician in the commentary booth. Rather than here.
That's what I do.
Yeah, right. So, Philly on pole from Nico, and then the 2 Red Bulls. We may see some funny little teamwork between those two. I would certainly be commanding my drivers to do such things. Now, what I want to talk about now is a little bit of tyre strategy. Because, again, unfortunately, as spectators, we cannot see what the projected weather is for these races, but it's certainly looking like it's going to be bone dry. If last night's race is anything to go by, as well as this qualifying session, we can only hope so. Dry is always better than wet. I say that, I do enjoy the strategy of the old wet to dry race.
It's true.
Did you have a dirty mind?
Tyre strategy? No. Of course not.
In fact, for young players, that sentence.
Yep. So, tyre strategy. Let's talk tyres.
Yeah, let's talk tyre strategy. Now, in last night's race, I was looking cloudy as anything, isn't it? I'm about to eat my own words. Now, yes, tyre strategy. What we saw in last night's race, if you're in higher up leagues, you may find use in taking notes, is we generally saw those who started on mediums hit around laps 11, 12 and 13, and then those who started on hards would come in not that much later, around lap 15, 16 and 17. So again, with such long laps and such a smaller lap count compared to most circuits we go to, the crossover point is a little bit narrower. So picking a crucial lap can be a little bit tricky around a place like this, because if you go past the pits and realize you shouldn't have, it's a long 90 seconds before you can make up for it.
Yep. Random piece of information: Kimi Räikkönen currently 41st in the NASCAR Cup Series. Anyways,
that's pretty good for a season that hasn't started yet.
That's final. Wait, what? I don't actually know anything about NASCAR.
Well, I think you'll find that NASCAR doesn't start till the end of January.
Right, well, forget everything I just said. So,
no worries. Anyway, the red lights are coming on. They are all on. And just like that, they are away. It looks like Philly's had a fantastic start. He's already asserting his dominance with a clear track in front of him. And Nico and SV are going to slide in side by side, not side by side, single file. We've had a bit of chaos in the background.
And we have a crack.
Yep, Salty is out. Both of the AlphaTauris are involved.
And Salty out the race.
Yeah, not what you want to see, man. If Tim also
Aston Martin,
involved.
Ferrari. Damn, man. And that's I think that's front wing damage on the Ferrari.
It certainly is.
Don't see any physical damage on the Aston Martin, and don't see any physical damage on the AlphaTauri. So, actually, you probably do. No, I don't. Okay.
They may have some of that funny undercarriage and side pod and rear wing damage that we can't see. Good old fashioned front end. We've got a little bit of desyncing going on as well.
Philly.
So Philly has the lead off the start. Again, among the front, it was, fairly status quo. Skip has taken Zilla for P4, so that's a great start for him. He's up 3 positions from 7th, so Williams better be pretty darn happy with that. Bevo down a spot, Zilla down a spot. Trenny has climbed up a little bit as well, likewise Crossdog, and Rebelitz has had a fantastic start. up to
And
P9.
Philly has dropped. Philly's dropped to P2, and Nico's taken over for the lead of the race.
He got caught out by Green Flag Racing
And
resuming.
SV
He's gotten rid of the lead.
Yep, SV is very close trailing to Philly. Philly close trailing to Nico. So we've got a bit of a scrap going on here at the front, and somebody's gone off. Don't know who.
There we go. It looked like maybe Skipper ran wide, and Zilla's taken advantage and taken the position back. But Skipper's going for the cutback. Is it going to work into turn 3? Not quite enough overlap. He decides to back out of it. Not an unwise decision. Again, we're only 1 lap into this 26 lapper. You don't want to throw it away, especially when it's your first race in the Red Bull. If my facts are not, if my mind is not mistaken me. Someone correct me in chat for fun. Yeah. Nico already not wasting any time. He's got a lead of 8 seconds out. 8 seconds, 8 tenths of a second out. So
8 seconds.
Clearly sandbagging throughout all of qualifying.
So Zilla already down a second and 6 tenths to SV in third. So not the best start for Zilla, who would obviously be trying to maximise his points today, being in that Red Bull.
Absolutely, make the best impression possible. Regardless, being right up the front, that's exactly what they would be looking for. He makes a nice little tail end Charlie at the moment for SV. Meanwhile, SV having a look all around on the way to the brakes. Well, Philly gets a bit taily on there.
Nico pulled out.
Oh, they both are on the harder compound again. SV grabbing P2 into, not Abby, the one before Abby. I forget the corner name, but he's got P2. And he's already got quite a bit of a margin to close down on. Nico wasting no time. He's pulled out 2.3 seconds. Granted, he is on the softer compound compared to the 2 cars behind him, so that may be a result to expect. In fact, quick look at one.
So HK hit with a 3-second time penalty.
He's been naughty. Actually, the majority of our front runners are taking the hard tyre. Obviously, wanting more grip in the later stage of the race. We'll see how that all plays out again. In last night's race, that proved very interesting. We'll see what happens tonight. But regardless, everyone's still shaking up. Philly not letting SV get away just yet. If he can keep himself within DRS range, that'll just be what the doctor ordered for him. No cause for any issues. Now it's the likes of Skipper, Bevo, and Trenny Pine. They're tracking fairly close to each other to be vying for position with one another. But again, this is one of those circuits where overtaking is very tricky because you have so many high and medium speed corners. It's very, very hard to stay right close in behind the car in front of you. Bevo's done a pretty good job through Maggots and Beckett's in that section, but Skipper ahead of him still has DRS himself, so he's not able to make the most of it down straight. He's still having looks. He's making a pest of himself. In fact, obviously, he makes Skipper give him room. He never went for the dive, but Skipper gave him the room to do it. That's just slowed them both up, unfortunately. And now Trenny's all over his back bumper. Trenny's
joined in the fight, and it's just one big 3. I'm not gonna. Okay.
Big 3-car dogfight. Ooh, getting very close there in the loop.
Not what I was going to say, but sure. And Skipper, I think Skipper went a bit wide, but Trenny has passed Bevo and is now on track to pass Skipper. So Skipper under a bit of pressure here, being on those harder tyres as well compared to Trenny and Bevo's mediums. And Nico pulled out almost 3 seconds now to the 2 cars behind him. So Nico probably wanting a safety car in the next, say, about 10 laps time, and that would give him a real advantage. So
absolutely. Because in his position,
maybe Williams are going to set up some crash gate recreation here. Yeah.
Surely not. If you're in Nico's position, in Nico's position at the moment, you're just trying to eke out enough of a margin, not destroy your tyres, but pull out enough of a gap so that hopefully when SV switches onto the softer compound or the medium compound later in the race, that your margin is large enough so that he can't close down that gap and make a move on you before the race is done. But at the same time, he's still got about 7 or 8 more laps to do on those tyres, so you don't want to beat the hell out of them, because that will bite you right as the crossover point hits in lap time. Of course, Trini is through on Skipper. Gets a bit Taylor coming out of the loop again. That is the corner that will catch you out for that. Without a shadow of a doubt. And now, Nameless guy.
Skipper making the move on Trini. And Skipper has got the move done. Although Trini is really sitting on his tail, and Bevo not too far behind either. And from Bevo, Nameless, Crosso, and then 2 seconds behind those guys is Reblets. So we've got 4 cars all within a couple of tenths of each other, so a bit of a 4-way fight going on here.
Certainly. And right now, this is not working in Trini's favour. Of course, he would have been wanting to clear Skipper and start pulling a gap on his softer tyres, but it's obviously not worked out that way. Skipper's proven to be a little bit of an irritance for him. As they go side by side right behind him. Oh, big switch back from Nameless, doesn't quite culminate into a move.
And
side by side again.
And fastest lap for SV.
That is a death rattle and a half for Nico at the moment.
And SV has also pulled 4 or 5 tenths closer to Nico and is still going. So Nico's tyres could be going off, or he's just lost it, or SV has just found a rhythm, because Nico is just not able to match the pace of SV. Although he is starting the game a couple tenths back. Never mind.
Got to try to retaliate now, lap by lap. Again, it's a long distance game of chess at the moment. Striking that balance between pushing and conserving. Tricky now. This battle for P5 for P4, sorry, yeah, P5 on backwards is still pretty exciting. I'm enjoying it a lot. As you can see, a flurry of yellow flags happening in the back of the pack, but Nameless guy still on the back of Bevo. He's been looking now for a few laps now, trying to size up where he's been quicker, where he's been stronger. This is one of those tracks where you need to do it, because again, opportunities are fairly far in between, few and far between, so make the most of his shots while you have a chance to take him. Yeah, no worries.
There we go.
She'll be right. It's not a stutter, it's a stylistic choice.
So about 5 cars, all within a couple tenths of each other. All just for P5. This is interesting.
Pardon the segue.
None of them seem to get the job done.
Speaking of interesting, check out the gap from Nico to SV. It's gone out to 3 seconds now, so Nico heavy on the retaliation on that one.
Oh. Nico decided his tyres actually don't want to last. But
there's no point
gotta do what you can do.
There's no point in conserving the tyre if you're losing time to the car on the harder compound.
Yep.
You pick those tyres so you can pull the gap.
And that's what he's doing. He's
through Woodcut again. Nameless looking for places to make moves, but they're not showing up for him. Ooh, Bevo runs a little bit wide, but again, there's nowhere for Nameless to go here.
And Robbie, a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Just probably shouldn't be doing stuff that get you penalties, but we got time now. Trenny has pulled a 1-second gap to Skipper, so Skipper's lost that DRS Trenny, although it is pretty close. And same with Bevo. Bevo's lost it to Skipper, so this bit of a 5-way battle we had has kind of disbanded a bit with Trenny and Skipper, as well as Bevo, all pulling 1-second gaps to each other.
Absolutely. It's unusual how that can work out sometimes. It of course can depend on who's flogged their tyres the hardest. I mean, You would typically expect Bevo around this point to be all over the back skipper because of that medium compound, but if he's pushed a little bit too hard, a few too many slides, or maybe just hasn't quite got the setup nailed, that's how these sorts of gaps can open up. He is trying to retaliate. He got it down 9/10, but not by the detection zone, so he still has to slug it out for the next half a minute or so till he gets to the next DRS straight.
So Bevo will be really hurting here on these mediums. It's because if you're going on the softy compound, you want to be in fresh air and just pulling time, but he just doesn't have the pace to get past Skipper and Trenny. So we could see a pit here soon from Bevo because those mediums, I'm sure, are not too healthy.
Likewise for Novice.
Just trying to keep up with the cars of health. Yeah.
Because, of course, you want to use these tyres for pace, but if you don't have any room to use that pace, then you might as well try and get yourself into clean air and then run a bit longer on the hards with clean tracks. You can run the lines you want to run. Particularly if you're in Nameless Guy's position, that would be a very, very tempting idea. But not quite this early. Still want to run a few more into compound.
So HK, I only just noticed this, but HK was 33 seconds away from Reblitz, and I don't think he's going to have that much of a comeback, HK, but to have hold on, gotta do the math. A 6 second, he's gained 6 seconds to Reblitz in the past couple of laps, which is not bad.
No, certainly not.
So HK's obviously got the pace, but Man of Tin. Yep. And SV has just pulled 6/10 closer to Nico as well.
Yeah, the gap fluctuating between them quite a fair bit. Coming into Brooklands there, Nameless Guy finally grabbed the position on Bevo. So we'll see if he'll try to pull a gap. You'd think he has the pace to, given how easy he's been for the last few laps or so to make the move. But Bevo will be keen to stick with him, no doubt. As it looks like Windows has just gone round. Coming out of, not fail. It's Brooklands, isn't it? I know my corners. Luffield, that's the one.
I don't.
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
British things.
So, poor Nico and poor Nico's tyres. SV is just gaining and gaining now. Although we have seen this before, and then Nico did pull out again.
Certainly did.
But
he certainly did. It's still not panic stations just yet. Again, there are certain sectors where Nico looks stronger than SV, particularly the first sector. But further on in the lap, as we get to the quicker stuff, it looks like SV does pull that gap back a little bit. So we'll see how that all fluctuates. Especially once we see a change of tyres. That'll be exciting, I reckon.
Yeah, so we should start seeing a couple of pits soon for the people maybe in midfield and potentially up front. Can't see anybody down at the back pitting anytime soon. And not too much to really comment on here. Yeah, everybody's a second out from each other, except from Dog, who is 3/10 out from Bevo, so we could see an overtake here soon.
Certainly, he's been chipping away at that gap for the last lap or so. Now again, looks like Bevo particularly struggling for pace, turn by turn. Maybe not quite nailed the setup, maybe just not feeling it. Although, again, through those series of sweepers, you can find yourself with a little bit more room than you originally did, just because it's so hard to follow through there. Weirdly, Crosso Dog did not open his DRS down that straight. I found that quite unusual.
That is. He might have an issue with his DRS. I'm not sure if that can happen in social races, but
I cannot remember if mechanical faults are enabled for this series. I've never seen them come up, so I'm assuming they're not. But regardless, it is what it is. Now, I just want to have a quick look at what everyone's ERS is like, because early on in the race, it looked like there weren't as many people using it. Certainly, a lot of people trying to conserve. This would be the track where you'd want to try to conserve your ERS explicitly for the times where you need it most, because so many sweepers and so many short braking zones, no real long braking zones. You don't have much time to recover all that energy that you would normally spend lap by lap. Certainly at a track like Baku, where you have plenty of heavy braking zones to recover it. So you're doing a bit more picky and choosy with this one. The likes of Nico and SV have not been shy in their use of it. Likewise, Philly, who's using it right now. And again, just pushing each other so hard for lap pace. Now, let's see what Nico's coming in now.
Nico, alright, so Nico probably going to be switching over to those hards. Although we could see mediums used again and then softs at the end. That could be a potential strategy here, but
that is a potential
Billy also
strategy,
said in fastest lap.
It would certainly be a surprise strategy for me, because you'd be very hard pressed
it
to
is
try
hard.
and find. You would be hard pressed to find all that time that you give up by taking an extra pit stop. Let's have a look now. Where is he going to come out? It looks like he'll give himself some clean air. That's what you want, certainly. And SV, what is he going to do? Because we saw Philly set the fastest lap of the race. Certainly shows that the hards are just more hooked up at the moment. Given that softer compound didn't work too well for Nico. Once SV got past, the gap fairly well stabilised and started to come down. So we're certainly past the according to the battle between these two, the crossover point has certainly been passed. But what happens after that? It's a mystery still.
So let's see what Nico can do here. He's in P10 with 9 seconds of clear air. See what he can do to just pull that gap into SV a bit. While SV also has clear air though, but it's on older hards. So we could see a bit of a... Not sure if it's really an undercut.
It certainly is an undercut, yeah.
Let's see what Nico can do here.
Yeah, see what those grippier tyres can do for him. As we see these two cars, Robbie and Crosso Dog, bumping wheels through these corners. SV looks pretty content with staying out at the moment, has to be said.
SV does not care how old his tyres are. Trenny's come in. Okay, Trenny, 94% ERS for Trenny. I'm not sure why he's not using his ERS, but...
Again,
and Trenny also on those hards.
There we go.
So no one really taking any... Yeah, no one really taking any risky strategies for now. It's all just mediums to hards or hards to mediums. I'd love to see someone do a medium, soft, medium, or medium, medium, soft. That'd be interesting, or
run the hards all the way to like 20 and then chuck on the softs.
That would be...
That's a...
Actually, that's a dream, actually. That's just a dream.
I mean, SV may well do it if he can keep pumping out 131s for the rest of this stint.
So halfway through the race now, and Nico caught up almost a second and a half to Dog. So clearly he's got the pace with those grippier tyres. But SV just still managing his tyres and pace really well, and just isn't really looking to pit anytime soon, because those hards are still on.
Yeah, they're still not in bad shape, are they? There was a 31.7 that time by, so...
SV, the race... Well,
now we know
that
where
could be
times
his...
have been coming from.
Yeah. That... Oh, and SV just spun! Oh, no!
Just spun. Oh, no.
Okay. So
he did say last week that Nico's been living in his head rent-free. That won't be helping matters as he slides his way back up and going again.
I don't really want to call it too early here, but that might be the end of SV's dreams of winning this race here. He had
maybe
everything. He had the pace, he had track position, and now he's got a 3-second penalty, and Nico is just doing what Nico does best, just drive him.
Churning them out, mate, lap after lap. Although, what we did see, he set a 1:33 last lap around. That is not the pace we'd expect to see from him.
Nico?
Yeah, from Nico, which is a surprise to me because that would be because SV's going a second and a half quicker lap by lap. Of course, those tyres will be feeling pretty knackered now that they've spun, but again, you wouldn't expect him to pit now because we've only just passed half race distance. So even if they are feeling a bit second-hand, he's going to stick with them. Especially if the medium isn't holding up to provide anywhere near as much pace as would be hoping for, or as they would be hoping for.
So we could see SV, we could see SV actually pit in the next couple of laps though, because the mediums have clearly shown themselves to last up to about 12, 13 laps. So with only 12, 13 laps remaining, it might not be a bad idea for SV to maybe switch over to those mediums and get rid of these flat-spotted hards.
Certainly. It's all gonna come up to him. And whatever the likes of Zakov are barking in his ears, we will never know. Maybe we'd be better off not knowing. We got a bit of entertained banter. Yeah.
Not gonna lie, I think I have a bit of delay in my voice from when I speak to when you hear it. Mine, that's a bit stuffy right now.
That is a bit unusual, isn't it? I don't know what to say about that one.
I was kind of waiting until I got Ethernet before I got back on the commentary, but here we are.
Right.
SV has pulled in about 4/10 to Philly.
That's just bullying, isn't it?
Wish I could see how much what's the word for it? How off his tires are. Yeah.
Across the line now, Philly with a 32 flat and SV crossed the line with a 32.2, so Philly was a bit quicker.
I don't know where SV's time went. And I don't know if it's just me, but I think I see some rain.
Do you see spots of rain?
So, I think I see some spots of rain.
Okay, I don't see
I think I see spots of rain, so I can still see it. So, there might be some rain here. So SV and all those other hard compound users might be at a huge advantage here, and SV could have his race saved by the forces of nature.
Well, having said that,
so Nico,
he's still got Philly to get around. If they all have to come in for inters or wets, he's now got to overtake. He's still got to overtake.
That's true,
Philly.
but
We can't forget.
Nico, he might. That's true, but I don't know. It's definitely going to save SV's race if it does end up going to inters. It's going to save it. He still has to pull that time to Philly though, and has a 3-second time penalty, which he might serve in his pit.
I can't remember if you can serve those. If you can serve 3-second penalties in the pits. I know you can do 5s. But yeah, it's unusual. It's an oddity in this game. Regardless, yeah, it definitely looks like we've got spots of rain. So Nico set a 31.9 last lap, so his pace hasn't dropped off really much. It looks like he is starting to slide around now on the throttle, so he's certainly starting to feel the lack of grip with the colder temperature on the road, a little bit of speckles of water. Across the line now, it's definitely going to be a 32.6, there you go. It is starting to drop.
So definitely it's starting to rain, and all those people who are on mediums and gone to hards, that's probably their race over. Not really much they can do. Unless they perfect this pit stop and, coming in at the right time and manage to undercut everyone on those inters.
Absolutely, but the other thing as well is, I mean, we're still on lap 17. Where it's getting wetter, but it's nowhere near wet enough to need to change tyres yet.
That's true.
If all these hard runners end up stretching it all the way out over the next few laps, and because this is typically where we tend to see people pitting off of the hards and onto the mediums, or what we saw them doing it last night in the Academy League, or the Academy Division, I should say. So it would be, if they force themselves to stretch out even longer, and it doesn't even rain at all, oh, it doesn't rate hard enough for a tyre change onto Inters at all of a sudden they've got to come in on the softs with a few laps to go, and they may not even make all that time back. There we go. It's looking a bit unlikely. The rain's starting to get a little bit heavier. It's now a confidence game now for the next little part here.
So SV, even though it's starting to rain, he is pulling in time to Philly now.
So that Red Bull is hooking up well at these dodgy conditions, or slowly dodgying conditions.
Yep.
We just saw coming out of the loop, we went on board with Philly, he got a big tail slide coming out of the loop and had to catch it. SV stayed nice and right in line, and that's reflecting in how the gap's reducing. It's gone down by 3/10 in the first sector.
So not a single person pitting yet. I'd like to see everybody's... Okay, so we've got HK coming in for the pits. Let's see what tyre he's going on to. If it's going to be the Inter or the... He's already on 15 lap of medium, so is he going to go on hard or Inters?
I would expect Inter... I mean, yeah, I'm more tempted...
He's going on
another set of mediums.
Another set of mediums.
That is an unusual one to me. I mean...
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with that one. I think maybe he's speculating. Maybe he needs to pit because those tyres he had on are just destroyed. But again, it's not wet enough for intermediates yet, so he might just be chucking on another set of mediums because you see Philly's come in.
Yep.
SV stayed out. He may just be going on another set of dries because he just feels like we need to go into inters anyway. But these dries won't last another lap. Let's see what Philly goes for. Is he going to go for inters or is
so
he
the Red Bull of
dries?
Zilla?
He's gone for inters. Philly's on inters.
Inters. So Philly on inters, Zilla on inters. Zilla with a really slow stop. I think that might be them serving his penalty. Yep.
I didn't see if Zilla had a penalty. Not bad.
Sure. So let's see if... I think he might have. Not too sure.
Yep, Bevo on two inters. What are we going to see Skipper do? Skipper onto intermediates as well. So it looks like everybody's made the call pretty much unanimously. So now we've got our top four.
So Nico's had in 4th place.
He certainly is. Again, he's been slowly chipping away at it. He's been quicker than SV over the last handful of laps now, but they may all have to come in for new tyres anyway and make his undercut all null and void, which would be a massive shame for him, to be honest. So we'll wait and see what happens, of course. SV is the ringleader of this circus at the minute. What's he going to do this lap by? Is he going to come in? He certainly is.
He is, right. So, while my internet is a bit dodgy, I can kind of see what the driver's doing. So, Nico, 4th place. Is he going to come into the pits for inters, or is he going to try and stick it out and hope the rain quickly passes with only 6 laps remaining?
Surely he goes for the gamble and just keeps going. SV's gone onto the inters, and Crossodog's come in, but Robbie has stayed out. Robbie stayed out. That's an interesting one. Nico.
So Nico. Okay, Nico losing his rear end a bit, and he doesn't even get track position, or does he?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yes, he
does.
He's got the position on SV. Yep. And Philly as well. SV comes out right behind Philly, and Philly is right behind Nico. Nico may have a bit of trouble on his hands.
We might see a bit of a battle here.
Yeah, he's going to have to make that Williams pretty darn wide as HK gets another penalty for cutting corners. That's a bit dodgy, mate. Bit dodgy. Another man who came in, we had Crossodog. He's gone onto a fresh set of mediums, so he doesn't feel like it's wet enough. Gets a massive tail slide coming out of the pits on the throttle. And another one once he reaches the crest of the hill. He may be regretting that decision already.
So, Philly catching time to Nico. I think it might have been the wrong idea to stay out in those cars, although I would have loved to see it, and that's dearest to say.
There you go. That's the death rattle.
Not much point. Yep.
Certainly. As we've got is that HK who's spun coming out of Stowe, certainly, and he's coming into the pits now. Not his night. Absolutely not. Let's have a look at Robbie. Is Robbie going to come in? Oh, HK's been busted for speeding. Here we go.
And
Robbie does come in.
Okay, HK.
Yeah, there you go. He's had enough.
And Nico didn't come in.
Nico stays out. He's going to go for the gamble. I mean, if I were in his position, I completely understand. Because if he comes in, he's going to spend 35 seconds having a pit stop. He's going to come out in the middle of the field and score barely any points. If he sticks with it, up at the front, he's in for more points, you'd figure. Because he's got these two cars hot on his heels, but the next car behind is another 17 seconds back. 9 seconds back by the second.
And also helping Nico out is Philly and SV in a bit of a scrap, so they'll be losing time, and Nico will be able to just pull out a bit here. Try and keep that kind of distance between himself and Philly behind him. So obviously the hard part for Nico here is just keeping it clean. Yeah, not really drifting around the track or anything, just trying to keep it clean. And Reblets on softs as well.
Oh, that's a strategy.
I don't know if he's going for a fastest lap or...
I'd give him points.
Definitely alternate.
Yep. There you go.
Yep.
The gap between Nico and Philly hasn't come down that much, because again, it's
so Nico dodgy couple of corners.
I did not see what happened. Did he skip a couple apexes, did he?
Yeah, he just missed a couple apexes, decided that the runoff looked more interesting than the track, and Philly is less than 2/10 from him, so...
There you go. I mean, there you go. That's how you maximise your margins. It's gone out to 1.8 seconds there. Again, SV looking like he's trying to get impatient with Philly, but again, it's hard to know whether or not it's the right idea to. The lap times have certainly dropped off. They're in the 135s now, so... I'll be feeling it out there. Nico will be having to tame that throttle every time he exits a corner. Let's see him through the loop now. Yeah, he's been very ginger with it. Just to keep himself safe. Oh, SV with a big tank slapper there. He had a similar moment last lap at the same corner. Again, temptation getting the better of him.
Yep.
So coming around...
And so my Wi-Fi is still not Wi-Fiing, but Philly looks to be catching up.
He certainly is. It's now down to 1.1. Through these sweepers is where he'll definitely be feeling that extra grip. See, Nico was having to catch a mini slide through the middle of cops. Yeah, he won't be loving life, but he still has the lead, and he's not even having to clutch for it just yet. The rain isn't... I mean, it's still just a really gentle drizzle. It's not even that much worth worrying about. A couple of damp patches popping up on the circuit, but again, it's not hammering down. It's not even coming down particularly hard. So, if he keeps himself together, he could just be all right. The gap is coming around down to about a second. I would say DRS range. Oh, I say that's now down to 8/10. Ooh, big slide. It might be getting a bit worse
Nico just bit of a pretty cool drift there, but coming around first corner, second corner. I don't know the names of these corners, so I'm just gonna number them. But Billy only 4/10 behind, and we might see an overtake here soon unless Nico can really keep his defense up. But I don't really see Nico keeping Billy behind for long.
So he has a little bit more straight line speed there, but again, that's not going to matter when they get to the next sequence of corners. Swimming all over the back, and then of course SV's licking his lips, got the popcorn ready as well. He's looking to join in as soon as he can. On the throttle now, we've seen Nico usually give up time through this sequence of the circuit, and it suddenly looks like it again. Philly goes round the outside, and he's going to have him clear before cops.
So Nico's still looking for a second or third place finish here, with the person for Zilla 10 seconds behind. So as long as Nico just keeps it clean for these last 3 or 4 laps, he is on track to win. Oh, well, not win, but get a
fairly decent result.
Podium finish.
Yeah, especially since on the back foot strategy-wise, starting on the mediums didn't set him up well for when it started to rain, so he just sort of has to stick with it, and he's doing a fantastic job. Certainly doing a much better job than I can do. Coming through as well. Oh, through that sequence of corners, he has given up time though to Philly, although you can't really do much about it. SV swarming all over him. Again, damage limitation drive for him now. SV has a look. No real room there.
Oh!
Heavy braking. Yes.
So I forgot, SV does have a time penalty, so...
He certainly does. He's just made the move in the loop.
Nico's still in contention for a second place finish here.
Certainly. He's going to have to batten down the hatches now, secure P3. Now that SV's made the move. If he can keep that gap within 3 seconds, he will still have the position. Although that's looking like it's going to be really, really tricky now. It's already gone out to nearly a second through these first few corners. Those few corners since SV made the position, of course. Here we go, look at those lines coming out of Woodcote. They just cannot carry the same corner speed and such a narrow line, so I'm certainly feeling it. Having to change down probably a fair few more through these sweepers as well. It's just hanging on to it. And if anyone can hang on to it, it is Nico. Just not the result he'd have been looking for when he came into this round on the back foot on SB. He's set for P2 in the title at the moment, but he doesn't want to be giving away points like he is now, or like he's down to. Anyway, if you're in Philly's shoes, you're a pretty happy fella, right?
Every point counts. So I honestly wouldn't be too mad at myself right now. Where did Philly start again? On grid?
Here we started on pole. It's a pretty good conversion at the moment.
Right, so
touch wood, no commentator's curse just yet. SV still keeping him honest.
So Nico has lost 3 seconds to Philly, unfortunately.
Yeah, there you go again. It was pretty much inevitable, wasn't it? The gap to Zilla may still be one worth watching because it's down to 5.5 seconds now. So at about 2 3/4 seconds a lap, he'll be right on his heels by the end of the race, which is still definitely possible, and it's not what Nico would want. But team orders will be a go in that one as well in the Red Bull pit. Goes without any saying at all.
Yep.
Let's have a look here. We've got a little bit of shenanigans going on here between Nameless Guy and is that it looks like that is Windows as well. A lot between them, but still getting involved with one another.
And Nico, oh wait. Never mind, sorry, on my screen Nico spun, so my internet's still playing the job. Yeah, Nico's still in this race. My internet has been absolutely atrocious this whole game. It takes like 10 seconds for me to hear your voice from when you actually say it.
Oh no, that's not good, is it? we can't all have good nights, can we? Alrighty, across the line that time.
Absolutely not.
SV was 2/10 quicker than Philly that lap around, so obviously still keen on making an impression on him. 1 lap to go now, so if he does grab the position, he'd need a miracle to happen to be able to actually take the outright race win. Oh, Nico has gone round. He's gone into the gravel trap at turn 1. And that's thrown away.
So yeah, I was gonna say, I'm not too sure if that was my computer or actually Nico, but he has spun off, and with only 1 lap left, Nico has given it away.
He's given away his podium, absolutely. Again, that's still a P4, still a solid result, especially after having done a pretty decent 10 laps in fairly dodgy conditions on those tyres. If he can just bring it home for this one last lap, of course. And touch wood. Now, actually, there's a few little brawls happening. We've got a yellow flag here. That's Crosser Dog. Has he gone around at turn 2 as well? Again, the track conditions are the difference getting worse over the last couple of laps, and they're the worst they've ever been at the moment.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how Reblitz is feeling.
Oh mate, Reblitz might be left at the moment. We've got a slew of penalties just came through for Zilla and Nico. So all of a sudden, Philly is the cleanest man out there. And coming into the final sector now, SV's all over the back of him, but he's not going to make a move. After all, it would not really be worth anything. And coming through now, Philly is going to take his first win of the season. And Alfa Romeo's first win of the season as well. Fantastic drive from him. SV with a brilliant P2. An imperfect race from him, but regardless, still a good result. Consolidating his championship lead and stretching it out. Zilla with a podium for Red Bull. Fantastic drive from him. And then we've got Nico coming around as well. Only a second up on Robbie, so if one extra lap he would have lost P4 as well. But he is going to take P4. And it looks like he's going to be followed up by both of the McLarens. So not a bad run from the two of them either.
Yep, exactly. Right.
We've got...
So, HK did DNF. I didn't even notice that. HK's DNF'd.
He certainly, yes. Shortly after his spin at Stobel, he became in and retired from the race. Went to bed. Fair enough.
So, congrats on Philly for bringing it home after getting pole position. Fantastic race on his end.
Perfect conversion for him. I'd be dead chuffed with that one. I believe it was SV who got the fastest lap of that race. So again, those are crucial points towards his championship charge, which of course he is leading at the moment.
Yep,
so
exactly.
He can't be upset with that one. So I reckon. Let's have a look. Oh yes, we're waiting. I believe we're waiting for Reblitz to finish. He's now just doing a couple of doughies at the final couple of corners.
The sauce didn't work out for him, unfortunately.
Not quite. He's on the preferred tyre, but it just looks like it didn't materialise for him. Nice and wide lines in the final corner, and there he goes. Now let's see who has earned driver of the day, according to Codemasters. It's going to go to Robbie. So congratulations, Robbie.
Alright, well, I don't want to spend any more time. I'd love to spend some more time here, actually, but my internet just cannot keep up, unfortunately.
Come on, mate. Not even for the old post-race interviews?
We'll make it quick, My internet's a bit of blow.
Surely.
I'll say. Alright, we'll bring in Philly. Philly first, surely.
Yep, we'll bring in Philly for our race. I'll just try and bring up the race director if I can. Let's have a look now. There we go, it's worked this week. We didn't have that luck last week. Just going up, there we go, make the FIA's job a bit nicer and easier. We love to do it because they already put in a fair amount of effort to have this racing as good as we have it. So yes, we'll bring in Philly for the win. Again, congratulations to him before we bring him in. We'll say that now. Where is he? Let's find him. You kidding me? Oh, there he is. Rightio, let's bring him in. Questions at the ready, Mason?
No questions yet, but you know what?
Right.
I am great on my feet, so.
Oh, damn right.
And my internet's back. Welcome back, internet. So.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Alrighty, let's bring him in. How you going, Philly? This is Nick and Mason in the booth. Congratulations on the win. Pretty tough race, but it looks like you converted that pole pretty darn well. So good job.
Yeah, thanks. The Inters really screwed me over. Well, I'm pretty sure. Not really screwed me over. I just wasn't comfortable on them at all. But I'm pretty sure that was with most people.
It certainly looked like it. Were tricky conditions, especially on a track like that. On a track like this, do you find that when it's not providing as much grip, since you spend so much time, on the throttle mid-corner, or with the steering cranked, it's certainly one of those tracks that can catch you out in these sorts of conditions, isn't it?
Yeah, like we saw with SV, who had a nice little spin, giving me the win, which is quite nice. But
certainly. But yeah, regardless, he did a pretty darn good job. And again, it just seemed like staying out of trouble seemed to be the way to go. And that's not to say your pace during the race wasn't pretty darn fantastic as well. You're pretty consistent as well.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it felt good.
Absolutely.
No massive mistakes. All good.
Done right. What was it like coming into those last few laps? You had Nico on the old mediums in front of you, and you had SV breathing down your neck as well. What was that? What was your thought process during that section of the race coming into the last few laps?
Yeah, no, it was very funny because as soon as I saw DRS get disabled, I knew Nico's pace was going to struggle being on the hards. only a matter of time before he made a mistake. Lost the back end, I got past him. And then I knew SV wouldn't be able to overtake me without DRS, especially in that weather, unless I made a huge error. So just kept it consistent. That's all you have to do.
Absolutely, and it's worked out perfectly for you. So, I believe that would be your first win of the season, if I'm not mistaken. So, what are your plans for celebration tonight?
Oh, just have a go at SV. Talk shit to him. As you
There
do.
you go. Okay.
Lovely.
Apologies, everyone. But hey, I guess
oh, shoot. Oh, sorry.
I guess
sorry.
if you
No,
mate, if
yeah.
you've earned it, you've earned it.
Yeah, thank you.
No dramas, mate. No dramas. Now, Mason, do you have any questions for him?
Don't really have any questions. Just to say congrats on the win. I think you did pretty well on that. Conserving your tires and stuff. So
Yeah, thank you.
yeah, that's all I really have to say.
Cool. Thank you.
No worries.
Go to the win.
Damn right. We'll see you next week at where are we next week? I'm trying to remember. We are in. Come on, brain, work for me. Austria. That's where we are.
Yeah.
The Red Bull Ring. Are you looking forward to that circuit?
Yeah, it's much better than Britain. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, there you go. Not all great minds think alike. Couldn't disagree more.
Oh God.
Anyway, you enjoy your week of peace and harmony, and we'll see you.
Thank you.
We'll see you again in the hairpin times in Austria next Tuesday.
Will do. All right. Thanks, guys.
No worries. Take care.
Yeah.
You too. Have a good one.
But all right, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to head off. So
Fine then.
I'm
Guess
so sorry. Are you
I'll
gonna be able to
interview-
do this interviews without me?
Yeah, I guess I'll just interview Vit and Zilla by myself.
I'm sorry. Right.
No worries.
Have a fantastic night, everyone.
No worries.
Bye.
Enjoy your homework.
Oh, thank you. Goodbye.
Rightio, let's bring in Let's bring in SV, our P2 getter and championship leader. How you going, SV? Solid result, but it certainly didn't go all your way. What did you make of that whole night?
Well, it was just fun. I finally, had Zilla in there, so me and him were having fun all night, chatting each other, giving each other strategies, helping each other in quali. So it was, pretty good to finally get double podium. Couldn't do that with Stormlad because one of us always had bad luck. Sadly, I think he's missing the rest of the season. But P2, P3, that's good results. Nico had a bit of a mischief at the end of the race, so that's maximum points for us in the championship. We extend our lead in constructors, extend our lead in the drivers. So, that's a pretty good weekend of my thing. The only thing I could take back from that is the spin, but even then I came back, gave Philly a run for his money, and it was a good result. P2, P3.
Yeah, I reckon you've made a pretty darn good synopsis just in that, haven't you? That's a fantastic result overall, and in the title race at the moment, of course, with Panache not appearing, main of 10 in the second half of the field, that's going to play pretty darn good dividends for the constructors fight, isn't it? It's going to be a fairly chunky margin now, and your title lead is also looking pretty darn good as well. After pulling, if my math serves me right, is
20
that
points.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. So yeah, you'd be feeling pretty comfortable right now. What are your thoughts heading into the rest of the second half of the season, especially Austria and China in the next 2 weeks?
Well, I mean, the Australia's the only track that I struggle at of the rest of them. So, well, whoever wants some, come and get some, because it's going to be a good second half of the season with Panache and Nico. The title's still on, and it's going to probably come down to the final round.
There you go. And is there anything else we'd love to see? I don't think so. so video, I say bask in this P2. It's certainly a good one, well deserved. Again, didn't quite all go your way, but again, you did really well. Showed good form and maturity. So enjoy that. And yeah, we'll see. Hopefully you and Zilla come back as well. See if you two can do another double podium next week.
Yeah, I'm going to get him to come up, don't you worry.
Yeah, mate, don't you know it? In fact, I'm gonna put you back in Red Bull just to steal him from you and talk to him as well.
Yeah, right. Have a good one, mate.
You too. You too. Have a good night.
Yep.
There you go. There's SV, our P2 getter. I'm going to give him 5 seconds to go talk to Zilla and then grab Zilla from him because he's earned himself P3. I was confused because I clicked the wrong button. How you going, Zilla? Congrats on your first podium. If it is your first podium, I'm trying to remember if my memory's right. But either way, double podium for Red Bull. Must be feeling pretty ecstatic.
Yeah, absolutely. This is only the second time that I've reserved up for Novice, and had a really good night. Myself and Svit were constantly discussing the weather and the tyre strategy, and eventually did make the right call. And with a bit of luck, Nico stayed out on the hard, so I did inherit the third position. But yeah, I'm absolutely stoked with it, with the podium in Novice in the wet, which is definitely not my strong suit at all.
Certainly. It certainly didn't look easy at all. There's some very, very tricky conditions out there, especially on as I was saying to Philly earlier, tricky track, even just going on the throttle while you're mid corner, which happens so much around tracks like this, and adding some drops of water on the track, it can make life hell. But you two Red Bulls, you certainly made it look fairly not too difficult. And
yeah. I definitely didn't have the pace or race. It was pretty clear. Svit and Philly were absolutely storming away out front. So I did run a pretty lonely race for most of the time, but I can't complain with that. It was a good result in the end.
Yeah, certainly it was. And we'll look to see you. Are there plans right now that you'll be sticking with Red Bull for the rest of the season?
I don't. I have a full-time seat in academy, so I only reserved up for this race. So I'm not sure what's happening with that.
Okay, well there you go. Well, I mean, even if even with a result like this, even if you're not a permanent seat in this division, keeping on results like this when you reserve up certainly makes a good impression.
For sure, that's always the goal.
Yeah, so we may see you a division high next season, especially with a podium in the wet like this. So I'd say, yeah, pretty darn good job.
Much, Nick.
And
Appreciate it.
no worries. Yeah, absolutely. So I'd say have a good night. Enjoy this podium. And I'll let you go chat to SV some more. Stop stealing you from each other.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Have a good night, Nick.
No worries. Have a good night. I can't drop you back into Red Bull. I can only take you to Haas. There we go. He's gone anyway. I don't know. Anyway, there you go. There we have our podium getters for tonight. Fantastic races as we're used to seeing. Again, a little bit more of a processional race, but it was definitely a challenging one. Lots of mixed conditions getting involved as well with the rain, putting these people through their paces. We saw a fair few penalties come through as well, mainly for corner cutting. Again, with a track like this in such tricky conditions, it can be very, very hard to not just slide onto the green paint on the outside of the curb. So they've all done really well tonight, and we'll see our divisions 1 and 2 over Wednesday and Thursday. The likes of Prodigy tomorrow and Elite on Thursday night. So be sure to stick around for that. If you don't follow the ARL channel at the moment, you definitely should, and maybe even subscribe with Twitch Prime or anything like that as well, because I'd say it's certainly worth your while. And it's plenty of good racing day after day, 4 nights a week. You get fantastic racing, so absolutely worth it. And I mean, again, my name is Nick, and I hope you've had a fantastic night. I know I have, and I should see you next week for round 8 of the Novice Division at the Red Bull Ring. So, hope again, everybody have a good night.